In this video, we're going to look at division with remainders. Solve the following division problem by grouping the dividend in divisor-size groups. Write your results symbolically as both multiplication and division equations. So we have the division problem 29 divided by 6. Now this is the first division problem we've had thus far where our answer wasn't a whole number. It didn't go in a whole number amount of time. So let's see how that works. So if we have 29 divided by 6, we want to group the dividend in divisor size groups. So we're asking how many groups or copies of 6 are in 29. So what we're going to do is there's 29 stars here, so let's group them into groups of size 6. So I'm seeing here there's one group of 6, there's another 2, 3, 4 groups, and notice here we don't have a full group of 6. Now we're going to learn a lot of different ways to think about this. Okay, we can think of this as a decimal, we can think of this as a fraction with mixed numbers, which we'll do later. But now what we're going to say is that when we divide 29 by 6, there are 4 groups of 6 with 5 left over. And when we think of division this way, when we think of how many are left over, we call this a remainder. So it's a whole number remainder. So let's write this as both a division equation and a multiplication equation. So remember how these are connected. We said 3 times 4 is 12, and we could also say that 12 divided by 3 equals 4, or even 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So we had this fact family. So how can we write this as a division equation? Well, 29 divided by 6, well, we said there was 4 groups of 6, but we have to somehow indicate that there was 5 left over with a remainder. And how we usually do this is we write a capital R with a 5 next to it, meaning that we had 4 groups of 6 with 5 left over. Okay. Now in terms of multiplication, so if you look at these, there's 0 left over, so we don't write it. So how would we write that as multiplication? Well, there's 4 groups of 6, well that's 4 times 6 is 24. We could think of the 5 left over as being 5 added on, and this gives us our total of 29. Let's look at the next one. So here we have 178 divided by 19, and we're asked to find this one on a calculator. So let's get the calculator out. We don't want to draw 178 stars. So let's see what happens when I divide 178 by 19. Well, the calculator says this, and you've probably seen these before. This is a decimal point, and this is the decimal. Okay, so this is the decimal version of whatever is left over divided by 19. Okay, this is not our remainder. Okay, you can think of it, it is what remains, but in mathematics, when we talk about the remainder, we're talking about this whole number that's left over after we found as many 19s that can go into 178 as we can. So notice we have 9 whole 117s and then this thing which is some left over. So that means, let's write this here, 178 divided by 19. Well, we have 9 and we need to find what that remainder is. Now we're actually going to use the idea of the multiplication equation because, well, let's find what 19 times 9 is. Okay, and then we'd add on the remainder to get 178. Well, 19 times 9 is 171. Okay, and then we need to add on the remainder to get a result of 178. Well, you could probably see somewhat easily that the number we'd add to 171 to get 178 is 7. Okay. But if you're not sure, or if you want to use the calculator for this process, you'd find this 171, then you take your original number, 178, and subtract off the 171 to get your remainder, which is 7. So we have remainder 7.